What if the key to solving one of the world's most notorious missing person cases was hidden behind prison walls all along? Two inmates say Christian Brueckner, the main suspect in Madeleine McCann's disappearance, admitted to abducting a child in Portugal. But can we trust these claims? The confession allegedly took place in a German prison, where Brueckner is serving time for unrelated offenses. According to the inmates, he spoke about taking a child in Portugal, immediately raising suspicions about a connection to the McCann case. This development has reignited interest in the long-standing mystery that has captivated the world for over a decade. As we uncover new details about this shocking revelation, we'll explore how this confession could potentially solve one of the most infamous missing person cases in recent history. The suspect's dark past. Christian Brueckner's past is a dark tapestry of criminal activity, stretching back years before Madeleine's disappearance. His history of offenses paints a disturbing picture of a man with a propensity for violence and sexual crimes. Brueckner's criminal career began in his native Germany, where he accumulated a string of convictions for theft and drug-related offenses. But it was his sexual crimes that truly alarmed authorities. In 1994, at the age of 17, he was convicted of sexually abusing a child. This early offense set a pattern that would continue throughout his adult life. In 2005, just 2 years before Madeleine's disappearance, Brueckner committed a particularly heinous crime. He brutally assaulted a 72-year-old American woman in Praia da Luz, the same Portuguese resort town where the McCann family was vacationing. The attack was so vicious that it earned him a 7-year prison sentence, though he wasn't convicted until 2019 due to delays in the legal process. But what brought Brueckner to Portugal in the first place? According to reports, he moved to the Algarve region in 1995, shortly after serving time for the child abuse conviction in Germany. He worked odd jobs, including as a waiter and in the hospitality industry, but was also known to engage in petty crimes like diesel theft and burglary. Brueckner's activities in Portugal during the time of Madeleine's disappearance are particularly suspicious. He lived on and off in a ramshackle farmhouse just 2 miles from the Ocean Club resort where the McCanns were staying. Investigators later discovered that his cell phone pinged a tower in Praia da Luz on the night Madeleine vanished, placing him in the vicinity of the crime. His behavior around the time of the incident also raised red flags. In the days following Madeleine's disappearance, Brueckner suddenly decided to return to Germany. He had his Jaguar car, which he'd been driving in Portugal, transferred back to Germany under another person's name. This sudden departure and the suspicious handling of his vehicle caught the attention of investigators years later. As authorities delved deeper into Brueckner's past, they uncovered more disturbing evidence. In 2016, during a search of his property in Germany, police discovered a cache of child pornography and children's swimwear. This discovery further cemented suspicions about his potential involvement in Madeleine's case. The pattern of Brueckner's criminal behavior, his presence in Praia da Luz at the time of Madeleine's disappearance, and his subsequent actions all contributed to him becoming the prime suspect in the case. But it was a key piece of evidence that truly tied him to the area where Madeleine vanished. While circumstantial evidence pointed to Brueckner, investigators needed more. The confession, what we know. The confession reportedly took place in a German prison where Brueckner is currently serving time for unrelated offenses. 2 fellow inmates claim that Brueckner admitted to abducting a child in Portugal, immediately raising suspicions about a connection to the McCann case. This revelation has reignited interest in the long-standing mystery that has captivated the world for over a decade. According to sources close to the investigation, the confession wasn't a clear-cut admission of guilt in Madeleine's disappearance. Instead, it was a series of cryptic statements and allusions that hinted at Brueckner's involvement in a child abduction in Portugal. The inmates who reported the confession said Brueckner spoke about taking a child, but didn't explicitly name Madeleine. One of the inmates, who wishes to remain anonymous, stated, "He was talking about his time in Portugal and said he took a girl. He didn't say he killed her, but he implied it." This careful wording has left investigators grappling with the true meaning behind Brueckner's alleged admission. The timing of this confession is particularly intriguing. Why would Brueckner choose to reveal such information now, after years of remaining silent? Some speculate that the weight of guilt may have finally become too much to bear. Others suggest that Brueckner might be seeking attention or attempting to manipulate the investigation in some way. The credibility of jailhouse confessions is often questioned, and this case is no exception. Inmates sometimes fabricate stories for various reasons, including hopes of leniency in their own cases or a desire for notoriety. However, the specificity of the details provided by the inmates has caught the attention of investigators. One crucial detail from the alleged confession aligns with previously unexplained evidence in the case. Brueckner reportedly mentioned a distinctive piece of clothing that Madeleine was wearing on the night of her disappearance, a detail that was not widely publicized and would likely only be known by someone intimately involved in the incident. This alignment between the confession and undisclosed case details has prompted investigators to take the inmate's claims seriously. It's a potentially significant breakthrough in a case that has seen numerous false leads and dead ends over the years. However, the confession alone is not enough to bring charges against Brueckner. Investigators are now faced with the challenging task of corroborating the inmate's claims and gathering additional evidence to support the confession. This process is complicated by the passage of time since Madeleine's disappearance in 2007. The alleged confession has also reignited debate about Brueckner's whereabouts and activities around the time of Madeleine's disappearance. Previous investigations had placed him in the vicinity of Praia da Luz on the night in question, but the exact nature of his movements remains unclear. Authorities are now revisiting old leads and re-examining evidence in light of this new information. They're also reaching out to potential witnesses who might have interacted with Brueckner during his time in Portugal, hoping to uncover any additional details that could support or refute the alleged confession. The alleged confession has breathed new life into the Madeleine McCann investigation, sending shockwaves through law enforcement agencies across Europe. The investigation's new direction? With renewed vigor, police forces in Germany, Portugal, and the UK are collaborating like never before. The confession has prompted a complete reevaluation of existing evidence and a fresh round of interviews with potential witnesses. Investigators are combing through old case files, looking for any details that might corroborate Brueckner's alleged statements. One of the most significant challenges facing the investigation team is the passage of time. More than a decade has elapsed since Madeleine's disappearance, making it difficult to gather new physical evidence or reliable eyewitness accounts. Memories fade, landscapes change, and potential leads grow cold. Despite these obstacles, authorities remain determined to uncover the truth. The international nature of the case adds another layer of complexity. Coordinating efforts between German, Portuguese, and British law enforcement agencies requires careful diplomacy and clear communication. Each country has its own legal system and investigative procedures, which must be navigated carefully to ensure any evidence gathered is admissible in court. Investigators are also grappling with the reliability of jailhouse confessions. While Brueckner's alleged admission has provided a new direction for the investigation, it must be thoroughly corroborated before it can be considered conclusive evidence. Detectives are working tirelessly to verify every detail of the inmates' accounts, cross-referencing their statements with known facts about the case. One promising development has been the discovery of new witnesses who claim to have seen Brueckner in the vicinity of Praia da Luz around the time of Madeleine's disappearance. These individuals, who were previously unaware of the significance of their observations, have come forward after seeing recent media coverage of the case. Their statements are being carefully evaluated to determine if they can provide any additional insights into Brueckner's movements or behavior during that critical period. Forensic experts are also re-examining physical evidence collected from the McCann's holiday apartment and other relevant locations. Advances in DNA technology over the past decade may allow for new analyses that weren't possible at the time of the initial investigation. Authorities are hopeful that these tests might yield crucial information that could link Brueckner definitively to the scene. The investigation has also taken an unexpected turn, leading authorities down a path they never anticipated. Brueckner's alleged confession has prompted a review of other unsolved child disappearances in the region. Investigators are now exploring the possibility that he may be connected to additional crimes, potentially uncovering a pattern of behavior that could strengthen the case against him. Social media and online communities dedicated to solving the McCann case have exploded with activity since news of the confession broke. While some of this amateur sleuthing can be helpful, providing tips and leads for official investigators, it also presents challenges. Authorities must sift through a deluge of information, separating credible leads from unfounded speculation. Despite the renewed optimism surrounding the case, investigators remain cautious. They understand the emotional weight of the investigation and the hopes riding on this new development. False leads and dead ends have plagued the case for years, and they're determined not to let excitement cloud their judgment or compromise the integrity of their work. Impact on the McCann family and public. For the McCann family, the news of Christian Brueckner's alleged confession has reignited a roller coaster of emotions. Kate and Jerry McCann, Madeleine's parents, have maintained a stoic public presence throughout the years, never giving up hope of finding their daughter. Their spokesperson stated, "They are grateful to the police for all the efforts in the search for Madeleine. They await with interest the outcome of the recent interview of the suspect." This measured response belies the turmoil that such news inevitably brings. The McCanns have faced numerous false leads and disappointments over the years. Each new development carries the weight of potential closure, but also the risk of renewed heartbreak. The family's cautious optimism reflects their understanding of the complexities involved in the case. Public reaction to the news has been swift and intense. Social media platforms have exploded with discussions, theories, and expressions of support for the McCann family. Many longtime followers of the case see this as a potential breakthrough, while others remain skeptical, citing previous false alarms. The confession has reignited interest in the case, with news outlets worldwide covering the story. This renewed attention has led to a surge in tips and potential leads being reported to authorities. While many of these may not pan out, the increased public engagement demonstrates the enduring impact of Madeleine's disappearance on the collective consciousness. For those who have followed the case since 2007, this latest development brings a mix of hope and caution. Many express a desire for closure, not just for the McCann family, but for themselves as well. The case has become a part of popular culture, with Madeleine's image seared into the public memory. However, the renewed attention also brings challenges. The McCanns have faced public scrutiny and even baseless accusations over the years. This latest development has unfortunately reignited some of these harmful speculations. Mental health experts warn about the potential trauma this can cause to the family and emphasize the importance of responsible reporting in public discourse. Legal experts caution that even if Brueckner's confession proves credible, the path to justice may still be long and complex. Questions remain about the admissibility of jailhouse confessions and the challenges of prosecuting a case with limited physical evidence after so many years. Despite these complexities, the alleged confession has undeniably brought a new sense of momentum to the investigation. For many, it represents a glimmer of hope in a case that has seen countless dead ends. The tenacity of investigators, the unwavering love of the McCann family, and the public's enduring interest all speak to a collective desire for resolution. The search for truth continues. This confession might feel like progress, but it's still uncertain if it will give Madeleine's family the closure they've been seeking. Some doubt the cellmate's testimony, and Brueckner continues to deny being involved in Madeleine's case. Without clear evidence, like finding her remains or a DNA link, Brueckner may never face charges for her disappearance. What do you think? Could Brueckner be behind Madeleine's disappearance? Or is the truth tangled in lies and misinformation? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more on Unsolved Mysteries.